Will he have the power? If you're an old nerd like me, you grew up with He-Man and She-Ra, and if you were extra lucky, you had the Crystal Castle playset like I did.
Crystal Castle! You put it together. She-Ra sold separately. You can pretend.
Oh, and before anybody goes, He-Man and She-Ra aren't children's literature. Yes, it is. Don't fight me on this. You'll lose. He-Man did make it to the big screen back in the 80s with Dolph Lundgren in the title role and Frank Langella playing Skeletor to a T.
One more move, and your friends will not live to see another day.
However, I think we can all agree that that film had numerous shortcomings. The biggest problem with it was that it wasn't even set on Eternia. It was mostly set on Earth, and it really departed from the lore. So it failed to make a lot of sense to kids like me who were like, yeah, I'm seeing a lot of stuff that just isn't part of the TV show. And then it also failed to connect with the teenage and adult audience that it was clearly targeting. But now they're having a second go, and the teaser trailer is out. I haven't seen it yet, so this is going to be my reaction as someone who totally grew up on this franchise and is totally hoping that this movie won't stink, because if that happens, I'm never going to get a live-action She-Ra show. The closest thing we've ever gotten to that was the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
For the honor of Grayskull!
No shade, that was excellent, but I want my live-action movie. And this is the perfect time to do it, because us Gen Xers are now old enough to where we have both money and kids. And so this is the time to bring back this franchise and do it right. Please do it right. Okay, here we go. It's very exciting.
All that stuff that only...
Okay, so it already looks like we've got the sorceress in her falcon form. At least I'm pretty sure that's her. I don't know who else it could be, because you've got the orange back and the white and blue feathers. And I have to say, that looks fantastic. That totally looks like King Randor's palace. It's all a bit CG-ish. I don't know what the right word is for that. Almost like an animated film as opposed to a live action film. So let's see how the CG landscapes and effects look.
Exists in legends and bedtime stories.
All right, Castle Grayskull looks pretty good, but again, it looks more like an animated cartoon as opposed to a live action. So this is a teaser. This is a teaser. I'm not going to be too hard on them, because sometimes what you are getting is mostly finished footage. So I'm not going to be hard on it yet, but if that's how it ends up looking in the movie, there's going to be a very harsh distinction between the computer-generated landscapes and the live-action actors.
Talking tigers, spaceships, and magic swords that can make a man as...
Okay, the sword looks really good. That looks really good. Very, very good prop, nicely lit. Really like that.
mighty as a god. Where I come from, that stuff is real.
Little Adam and Big Adam. All right, so I'd seen a couple of production stills before of Prince Adam, and I understand why they didn't go for like the bob with the bangs. It worked in the cartoon, but it would honestly just look a little bit silly. So, you know, they've done something nice where he still has long, shaggy hair, but it at least looks normal, because, I mean, even these days, bobs with a fringe is not terribly common. Like, you see them, but it's not like the 1920s or something where this was a common fashion for even women, and you certainly don't see a lot of men with that haircut. So that's an artistic choice I'm fine with. And then I also noticed that they gave him like a pink button down that is open to the white shirt, and I like that, because again, not everything in a cartoon is going to translate perfectly to the real world. So by giving him the button down that opens, you still kind of get that V-shaped look that he had with his tunic or whatever it was in his outfit with the white underneath. So very nice. This is a good interpretation of Adam where you can't literally translate what was in the cartoon to the real world, and the compromises they made work really well.
Why did you send me away?
Okay, so we've got some lore breaking here. Adam was obviously not sent away as a child. That's not part of original He-Man lore. So that's going to lower this film's Snape score for me in terms of its accuracy. And if they come up with a really good reason for it and it works, great, fine. But I don't know how you're going to end up being able to work in the She-Ra lore. Like, maybe because Adora was kidnapped, they decided to protect Adam by also sending him away. I guess you could make that work, but in the actual He-Man lore, there's no sign that he was ever sent to Earth to live under an alternate identity.
So I sent you to a place I knew that they'd never find you. There's...
Ooh, okay. I wonder where they're going with, like, they just showed his nameplate with he, him pronouns engraved underneath. Is this a cringy virtue signal by the studio? Is this the writers who are reading the cultural room and realizing that people are sort of over cringy virtue signaling, and so are they going to tease it a little bit? I suspect it might be the latter, because Adam doesn't look very happy behind that desk. And then you had the cardboard cutout of the HR lady saying, oh, this nerd stuff and swords, it doesn't fit in HR. And
this obsession with nerd stuff and sword things, it's not a good look for human resources.
I don't know how many HR people you guys have met, but I don't feel that that category of people is immune from any kind of nerdery.
I know it sounds crazy, but that's...
All right, so Adam has found his sword. Somehow it's calling to him. Again, I like the way his collar's open, and you can see that white V underneath. That prop's amazing. It's really, really good.
Sir, you can't do that.
Don't worry.
Okay, I like that scene. That's a good bit because it's a callback to The Sword in the Stone. I feel like it looks like a direct reference to that book where you have, you know, the young worm or future Arthur who comes to claim his sword and it's stuck, you know. So the idea that he has to like go into the comic book shop and pull his sword from the monument, that's nice. I like that. That isn't at all the way it went down in the cartoon show lore. So again, they're departing from the 1980s show, but if they come up with a good enough reason for it and it works with the story, you know, I'll go with it. They say this summer in case they need to delay.
Hang on, it's about to get weird.
I'm assuming that was just Tila. And it would have been nice to see her with her hair all rolled up with the cool headband. Like, she looks great. Face-wise, she's got those awesome cheekbones that all women in the He-Man She-Ra universe seem to have. So she looks great, but I don't like that her hair was down and messy. Come on, just give me something. Do a little fan service here. We at least need to see her at least once with her hair rolled up with the headband. Oh, although I just saw her outfit and the collar and the way it's split in the front and the detailing on that. Like, did they actually put her in a Tila leotard? That would be very cool. I mean, she can have some trousers on because it just would look a little too 1980s, a little weird. But, oh, that was very nice. Ooh, so we get the team now. So this is probably Cringer in Cringer form and not Battle Cat form, and he looks a little too confident. I would like to see him look a little more sniveling. So unless he's already in Battle Cat form, but then he would have his helmet and everything. I don't know. Yeah, Cringer should have been cringing a little bit more. I also know that some people were like, oh, you know, race swapping. They've race swapped Man-at-Arms. Here's the thing. They picked Idris Elba. I'm fine with this. Like, there's a lot of race swapping that is incredibly cringy and doesn't work and was clearly just done for ideological reasons. But I think Idris Elba will absolutely bring it. I think he will have the right toughness and determination. We know he can play characters like this. Like, this is where he shines. So I don't have a problem with this casting because Duncan's race had absolutely nothing to do with his character in the show. That's where I'll allow it. So if someone's physical appearance is critical to the plot or the character development, as it is with Snape, then you need to stick with it. And you really, really shouldn't change it, because the more you destabilize a story, the more likely it is to collapse like a Jenga tower. And if a character's appearance has nothing to do with the plot or the character development, you can have a little bit of flexibility there. So yeah, I actually like this casting, and I hope that Idris Elba has a chance to just really do his thing and do some excellent shouting and great sword fights. I like it. Okay, so it does look like they let Tila have some trousers, which is fine. Slow-mo cool guy walk. Ooh. Skeletor looks super scary, but then so did Frank Langella back in '87. In fact, when we were in the theater watching it, we saw it at the Rainbow Theater in Tahunga, California, which sadly is now closed. It was a good old-fashioned picture palace. And my mom leaned over partway through and she's like, "Is this too scary for you, honey?" And I was just like, shh. You know, I was fine. It was great. Skeletor looks good. He looks pretty creepy. Now, I haven't heard Skeletor go... If they don't do that, that will be profoundly upsetting. And yeah, let's see.
You protect them.
Oh, he's getting the sword out. Oh, he put it up. Are they going to show it? Are they going to show him transforming? Oh, hey, we got a quick little glimpse of Evil-Lyn. That was lightning quick. I'm going to back that up just a bit. Let's see if we can see her. Okay, that headdress looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the costumes so far. I feel like they've translated the stuff from the cartoon well enough into the real world. You have to make a few adjustments because some things just look too silly if you do them in real life, but that headdress looked really good and her makeup looked great. Oh, are they going to show him transforming though? Or are they just going to tease us? Oh, okay. There he is. All right. I think this has gotten a number of things right. First, the costumes look pretty good. Like, I like that they have directly replicated the costumes from the 80s show when they could, and then when it wouldn't quite work to do it in the real world, they made adjustments and references that preserve the same colors and lines, and so that's some excellent fan service. Really appreciate that. I'm not totally sure about the changes they've made to the lore. Like, He-Man's entire backstory is completely different. Like, why does he need to go on Earth? Is this just going to be filler? Is this going to waste time? Because what people really want out of a He-Man story is they want to see He-Man on Eternia fighting Skeletor, kicking some butt. This is what we want to see. We don't really need to see him with HR lady in Chicago or wherever he was. Like, that doesn't have anything to do with the story. And while it can take the character from like, okay, he's way down here, he hates his life, and then, you know, Matrix style, he becomes this amazing person in another world. But like, it could just end up being filler and unnecessary. You also run the risk of alienating diehard fans who are going to be like, no, that's not what was in the lore. However, if they pull it off, if they justify it, if they write it well, then I think people will go with it. I certainly will. Like I said, I am just hoping this movie will be good, because if it bombs, there is no way that I will get a She-Ra film. And chances are enough time will go by in my lifetime that this IP will just drift away and it'll never happen. So for the sake of the She-Ra film that I hope for the honor of Grayskull, please let Masters of the Universe be good.